Some things are very important. One of those things is sound design. But a step before sound design is the sound selection. What are those magical frequencies you hear everybody on about? How can you get them to work in your advantage so that your performance is going to stand out from the rest? Let's get into that right now. Hey, what's up? I'm Menlo Kitchen and thank you for checking out yet another video. If this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe, hit that notification bell and share because you'll help me grow the channel, and it's that simple. And by this time when you're watching the videos, you pretty much figured out like what it is that you want to perform on stage. I mean, in the beginning, there's a lot of gear, there's a lot of stuff, and it might be a bit overwhelming. What am I going to do? I mean, we're talking about a doorless live set here. We're not so much talking about the Ableton route where it's a bit of guns on their own. Whatever plugin you want to use, you can use it. We're also not talking about the USB route because you know that we sound much better than most of those USB DJs out there. Not hating, just stating the facts. But what kind of sounds will actually work for you? How do you build it up? Let's get over to the live set and let me show you on what sounds I use, how I structure them, how I program them, and how they actually work in conjunction with the beats so that my performance would rock any sound system in the club. Let's head over there and check it out. So gang, we're back at the live set again, and today we're looking for those magical frequencies. There's a few things that make those magical frequencies. I won't say that everything is magical when you get a live set going, but you have to understand that certain things need to work in your advantage. So now the drums today are this. And that's the mini tower. I really like it. I like that synth, you know. Mini tower, hot wired through the Octatrack. Model D, hot wired through the Octatrack. And also the Tetra by Dave Smith, hot wired through the Octatrack. What do we mean by hot wired? It's basically the through machines that you can select. You can select different inputs and how they behave on the Octatrack. So as a summing mixer, I've routed the Mini Tower and the Model D and the Dave Smith all through the 4 inputs. This is a mono synthesizer, so one input goes into the Octatrack. Model D, mono synthesizer, so one input as well. Then the Dave Smith, who's got 2 outputs, left and a right, so those go on the other 2. So inputs A, B, C, and D are all occupied by those synthesizers. Now, what I like about the Electron Octatrack is that it's got a certain sound to it. It's very loud in itself. So whatever you sample into this machine, it will come out blazing. It's very hot and round. If you're making music or you know something about production, so you know if you're not just starting out yesterday, you know about transients. You know how the articulants of sounds make all the difference when it comes to dynamics, and the more dynamics you actually have on your live set, it will basically make you win the war, if there's a war to speak of. But it will you will come out of the saloon blazing, which is cool. A lot of talk, let's get into the music. So basically this is what the Mini Tower is playing. Now this in itself doesn't really make any magical frequencies yet, but what I like about this is that it will complement whatever the drum is doing. So listen to this. Let's add a few more drums, yeah? Let's do that. That close high is a bit loud. Let me tone it down a little bit. Woo! Bass line. Now let's record it. I like it. Let's see what we can do. Now this is very raw, very rough, so we need to shape this sound a little bit more, you know, it's a bit wild, so. Put a bit of noise on it. Yeah, noise. Now let's build up this sound through a little bit of bass. Do you hear how I'm turning down the noise? Shaping the sound. There's another oscillator that I just turned on, which is playing this. Here. Got a pulse on this. There's a saw on the first one. So they're starting to fight with each other, which I like. And the third oscillator. Pitch it up. Kick drum. Now what I like about it is that, you know, it's a range which is a bit in the low end frequency, so I'm thinking, let's get a little bit technical here. So right around, say, in the region between 80 and 120 hertz is where this Model D is living right now. So this together with the mini tower will give you a lot of interaction when those frequencies start to clash, because the mini tower also lives in that same frequency range a little bit. So what I want is that the frequencies start to interact and start to clash, and some of them will hit each other, others will just like align. So what you get is that the transients are starting to play with each other. I mean, it's best if I probably play it. Now it's quite clear that the Moog is going somewhere else, but shaping it going down again. Oh, I'm in love with this kick, I love it. Now, what I've also done is, on the TB03, I'm playing this acid line. Now, if I would play this a little bit more standard, which is this, then now all of a sudden this frequency is starting to just cut off frequencies on the both synthesizers that we already have. Which results in that you don't hear it. So we need to have it stick out and stick it into this overcrowded frequency bottom end that we're trying to create, so that everything that sits on the bass drum is just helping each other. So can we get this frequency to stick out in between what's already happening? Let's see if we can do that. So you hear the Model D? Okay, this will go together. Let's overdrive it. This is something that doesn't come on the original TB303, but it comes on the TB03, and that's overdrive. So we're going to overdrive the sound and see if we can actually create a little bit more character, a little bit more bite. we can lengthen the notes on the mini tower again. Open the filter. Reverb and get some beats going. I think the TB03 is jumping a little bit out of character here. Let's put it back in its place. Now, why is it so important to actually figure out on the machines how the frequencies will work? Well, in my honest opinion, I don't really want to tweak stuff on a mixer and start to equalize stuff. That's just taking too much away from my performance. I want to be hands-on, so I need those boxes to do that stuff for me. So within a specific frequency range, I would say Model D, stay in the bottom end, you stay in the cellar, you know, between the 60 and maybe the 120 hertz. Then the mini tower is just going to interact in between. If I don't want the frequencies to clash, I'm basically going to have notes playing on different parts where the notes of the Model D are playing, but they both will do the same thing, as you can. So you can both distinctively hear what's going on, you know? Hey, thank you for checking out this video. Now, if you like it at all, don't hesitate to just run downstairs, because I have got the selection of all the gear that I'm using listed below, as well as for you to leave a comment if there's anything you would like to know. Don't hesitate to just leave me a note, drop me a line, and don't be a stranger. Now, this concludes our broadcast day, of course, and I will see you in another video.